flowers for that first and foremost.
Oh, thank you so much. And I should give you your flowers. I'm walking in your path now.
Welcome, welcome. And so this is the thing. We were talking with the lovely ladies this evening, and we have women from across different industries, different creative paths. And most are linked to what you're doing. So creators in terms of podcasting, creators in terms of being on stage, both on stage and behind the scenes as well, production-wise, and just fantastic African women in the room today. And we were talking about ways in which our agency over our bodies are taken away from us. And when I was listening to Mind Your Own, I also went to St. Mary's Saints, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that episode because I just loved the blue hair dye moment, which is what I'm calling it now. So maybe you can unpack that moment for us, and we can talk more about why you felt so strongly to have the blue hair dye moment.
Well, yeah, I mean, my defiance started when I was really young. And I can recall I was like under 10 years old, and I was quite the tomboy, and I was climbing trees. I really loved to climb trees. And some man came to me once and just said, "You can't climb trees, you're a girl." And I was like, "What? Okay." And obviously when you're that age, you're very impressionable and you don't know what it means to be a girl or a boy and all that. So I just thought, why? I got two legs, and other boys are climbing trees. Why can't I climb trees? And I remember going to my dad and being like, I was told that girls can't climb trees. And he said, "That's rubbish. You climb that tree if you want." And so I think it was like that permission that my father in that moment gave me. And my parents, they both were kind of they were defiant. And my father, he was fighting for democracy in Kenya. So I saw someone who was always stress testing the status quo, and it left an impression on me. I learned from his actions even more than his words. So the idea of rules, it wasn't like I was like rebellious and just wanted to defy rules for the sake of defying them. But I guess I was raised to question rules, right? Because sometimes rules are in place and they're there to oppress you, And it's important to be independent of mind enough to ask why. So in that moment at St. Mary's, here was a rule that girls couldn't wear their hair below their shoulders, and they couldn't dye it red or blonde, and they couldn't wear makeup. And all those rules seemed very oppressive to me. And I was looking at the situation. We're the minority, and somehow our appearance is being restricted in a way that has no bearing on our education, you know? So for me, I was just like, this is a dumb rule. And this is a rule that was set at another time in Kenya's history, and it hasn't been questioned. And so for me, that rule was a bullying rule, and I didn't agree with it. And so I found a way around the rule to kind of just like to expose the establishment for how ridiculous the rule was. And so it was my way of staying within the lines and stressing them.
And I think there's something you say, like you decided to stress check how strong this rule was in that episode. So basically what Lupita did was she went out and bought, she had hair dye from Mexico, right? And she went out and got her hair dyed blue because the rule said you couldn't have maroon or blonde. And she came back to school